So Reagan Goodman, I coach here at West with Bentonville West cheerleading. I also teach. I teach U.S. history at Grimsley Junior High, and I've probably worked with a lot of the kids at this school.
So what school did you attend?
For university, I attended two, the University of Hawaii and the University of West Florida.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Petit. I am a special ed teacher here at Bentonville West. I teach freshman English and senior English. My freshman year, I attended Quincy University, which was a Division II school, and then I transferred and finished my collegiate athletic career at Wheaton College. After I got my bachelor's, I then attended the University of Nevada as a graduate assistant and was still working in women's basketball.
Bonjour, je suis Madame Falk. I'm Madame Falk, and I attended Indiana University my freshman year. After that, I transferred to Eckerd College in St. Petersburg, Florida. Then I studied abroad in France and finally graduated from Eckerd College. I then went on to complete my master's in French at the University of Miami. And I also attended Florida International University and University of Phoenix Online and Miami-Dade College to receive my teaching certifications.
What is one of your favorite or appropriate memories of college?
My favorite would be in the dorms. So being able to dorm my first 2 years, I didn't think I was going to like it, but I got to meet new people. Dorm food really is not that great, but we really had a good time after school hours and building relationships, going to the beach.
Well, at Wheaton College, which is a small Division III, it's a liberal arts school, the environment creates, you're able to get to know your professors. And so my favorite professor in the Department of Education, I actually was a prankster in college. I loved pulling pranks, so I tinfoiled his entire office from head to toe and every little thing that was in it. And it was one of my favorite pranks.
My favorite memories of college are probably meeting new friends and exploring different subjects and exploring the world.
Do you have any funny stories about living on your own for the first time?
Yeah. We would play a game called dorm luging, where you get on a skateboard and you get pushed as quickly as you can down the hallway. Unfortunately, my section of dorms had stairs on the right, and so as I started to bank right, I realized I was going to go head first down the stairs. So I started screaming, abort, abort, and I flew off the left side and broke my elbow.
I had a very aha moment. I remember my junior year where I came home from practice and I was super frustrated and I just started cleaning the kitchen, like deep cleaning the kitchen. And I remember taking the sponge and being like, oh my gosh, I'm my mother. Like when my mother was upset, she would clean the kitchen. And so I kind of remember just having that moment to myself.
Where did I live in college? I lived in Indiana University in a dorm. Then I lived in another dorm in St. Petersburg, Florida at Eckerd College. While living in France, I studied abroad and lived with a host family who owned a theater, and we lived above it in Avignon, which is in the south of France. And then my senior year, I had an apartment with my friends on campus. One time when I was trying to teach myself how to cook, I made the most disgusting ramen noodle soup I've ever had, and I had to throw it away. I also bleached my favorite sweatshirt that I bought in France when I was trying to learn how to do laundry. So those are two skills you should probably learn in high school before you go to college.
How did you pay for college?
I paid in two ways. So the first one is scholarship. I got a Western undergraduate scholarship because of my GPA to go to the University of Hawaii. They gave me in-state tuition plus a scholarship. After my first 2 years, that scholarship was over, and so I actually ended up getting married, and my spouse was in the military, so I did spousal tuition assistance. So it's like the GI Bill, but for those people who are either married or are children of people in the military.
I was fortunate that my freshman year I had a full ride scholarship for athletics, but when I transferred, I went to a private institution that didn't give athletic funding, and so I had to take out loans.
I didn't pay for college, my parents did, and I also received scholarships at Eckerd College for special talent for French. And then for my graduate master's degree, I didn't pay anything. They paid me to be a graduate teaching assistant, so I had to teach one class each semester, and tuition was paid for by the school.
What was your major?
My major started out as education, and then it changed, and I did my undergraduate in history.
If you're an athlete, that is your job, and it really determines whether or not you continue within your education. So I would say my athletic career was my job. I majored in undergrad in elementary education with a minor in Spanish and English, and then my master's degree is in special education.
I majored in French and I minored in English and creative writing.
What was one of the biggest lessons you had to learn when you started college?
Self-efficacy, so taking care of myself, making sure my grades were where they needed to be so that I could get into grad school, making sure that if I had questions or problems, I had to be the person to reach out to people. Being an adult, realizing that I'm an adult and I have to reach out to other adults and make sure that I'm taken care of was hard.
I think the biggest lesson all freshmen have to learn is twofold. One is managing your time and creating your own structures for yourself that best fits how you want to find success in college. And then second is friendships, really figuring out who you want to surround yourself with, who you can trust, and who aligns with your values and morals. That really can determine the trajectory of your journey in college.
The biggest lesson I had to learn when I started college was that my parents weren't there to help me, and I needed to figure out how to register for classes on my own, how to balance my time management and study skills on my own, make sure I was at class on time, and do a good job.
What advice would you offer high school students starting to explore their post-secondary options?
Think outside of what your friends are doing. So I went to the University of Hawaii to get as far away from my parents as I possibly could. And so when I put an ocean between myself and my family, it was really invigorating. I had really cool new opportunities and experiences. So if I would have done what most of my friends did and just go a little bit further south in the state, I wouldn't have had the experience that I did.
I teach seniors, and I love telling seniors things I wish people had told me when I was a senior, and one of them is size of school and location. So I wish someone had explained to me better the importance of size and how I best learned. So if you go to a university that's a state school, you're immersed in a learning environment with thousands of students. And if you can learn in that environment, then go ahead. The Big Ten schools, the SEC schools, they're for you. But if you know you kind of maybe need more support, or you enjoy having a one-on-one relationship with an adult that is your educator, a smaller school would be a better fit for you. And I really don't think adults do a great job at articulating that for young people. And so that's usually the advice I give kids.
The advice I would give students while they're exploring what colleges they want to go to is two things. First, they should think about where they want to live, because the next 4 years you can go anywhere. Go somewhere that you enjoy, have fun, enjoy the weather, if you like hiking, go somewhere in the mountains. If you like the beach, go somewhere with a beach. And don't stress about it. If you don't know your major, that's okay. You don't have to decide until your first year. If you don't like where you're at your first year, give it a year. It's okay to transfer. Most of your credits will transfer as well. So just because you choose one school, that doesn't mean you have to stay at that school forever. I would also recommend that everybody study abroad if you have the chance, even if it's for one semester. If you don't speak a foreign language, you could go to England or Australia. There's lots of English-speaking countries you can visit, but definitely take the opportunity to travel while you're young.
And is there anything else you'd like to share?
Yes. So I have something kind of unique about the way that I did college, not only in that I went to multiple different colleges, but I also had a child when I was 20. And so I did not allow that to be a barrier, but rather it helped me. It helped me to understand how to be more mature in school, how to ensure that my success would be something I could pass on to my children, and that when I started working with high school students, that they would understand regardless of the things that are put in front of you in life, you can continue to move through them. And children can be both something that require more work, but also inspire you to continue going.
So there's a book, and I'm an English teacher, and it's called Colleges That Will Change Your Life. And I went to Wheaton College, and it's one of the schools, I think there's 50 in the United States. And I'd really encourage seniors to take a glance at the different universities that have really been tiered to significantly impact you as an individual and your growth, not only as a learner, but as a person. And I know for me, I went to one of the schools that is in the book, and it absolutely changed my life. And I would never regret going to Wheaton College. It was the best decision I've ever made.